Hey cowboys and cowgirls, welcome back to Dusty Creek. The backdrop for the Gears of Fear attraction is now mostly finished, but now comes the fun part. We need to bring this backdrop to life. It's not enough just to build the structure. We need to fill the building with details, colors, and little touches that give it character and make it even more realistic. So let's get started by filling this backdrop with all the elements that will bring it to life. Whether it's furniture, decorations, or even small, hidden details that will make everything more interesting. With the wooden deck, I'm essentially creating the entrance area by building it around the house at ground level, surrounding the buildings. This allows me to add doors and other details. Not only does this make the structure more functional, but it also makes the building look more realistic and immersive. By adding these elements, the overall atmosphere of the space becomes more believable, and it gives a much more polished, finished look to the area. How such a platform would realistically, with the wooden columns, I support the wooden platform to add more realism, as in reality, such a platform would collapse without proper support. To enhance the realism of these wooden columns, I don't just connect them to each other, as you can see, but also use cross braces that are connected to the building. This structure not only improves stability, but also makes the entire setup look more authentic and believable, simulating how such a platform would realistically be constructed in the real world. Here, I thought that this building complex should be accessible from both sides. Since I already installed a building in the mountain that could only be accessed by an elevated path, this became the game changer for me, and I simply continued its elevated concept. I also planned, as seen in the image, to connect it to the entire park, but somehow it didn't quite appeal to me, so I left that idea aside and only connected it to the other building. It's better than nothing, I suppose. And now I'm adding the railing along the path, which serves not only for better aesthetics, but also for realism, ensuring that no one falls off. To prevent the building from looking too empty, I decided to add a second floor. This helps make the structure feel fuller and more vibrant, giving it a sense of life and activity. By adding this additional level, the building not only looks more realistic, but also adds to the overall atmosphere of the area, making it feel more complete and integrated into its environment. The second floor serves to enhance the visual depth of the building, making it stand out more and contribute to the dynamic look of the surroundings. Now, it's finally time to properly decorate the building. Windows and doors are being added to enhance the structure and give it a more finished, realistic appearance. Even though it may not be very noticeable from the perspective of park visitors, the balcony areas are receiving privacy screens to provide a sense of seclusion for the people using them. This way, guests can enjoy their space without feeling exposed to the neighbors, adding an element of comfort and realism to the building's design. The small details like these are what truly bring the building to life. By using different colors of the same object, I try to create the illusion that they are actually distinct pieces, rather than just cheap copy-paste elements. This subtle variation helps break visual monotony and gives the impression that more effort and detail went into the design. It adds character and makes the whole structure feel more authentic and handcrafted, rather than something that was thrown together quickly or lazily duplicated. It's a small trick, but it goes a long way in making the scenery feel more organic and believable. Since I don't want to spend all my time just working on that one building, I decided to also give some attention to the other attraction that I had previously removed from its original location. It obviously needs a new home, and I figured what better place than right here next to the park station. This spot not only gives it a fresh start, but also makes it easily accessible for visitors arriving by train. It adds more liveliness to this part of the park and helps balance the layout a bit more overall. Now that this attraction has been fully reintegrated into the park, I shift my focus to the smaller decorative details, those finishing touches that really bring the scene to life. I start by adding scattered patches of vegetation, primarily cacti, and a mix of semi-living and dried-out plants. These natural elements help reinforce the arid, rugged theme of Dusty Creek and give the whole area a more believable weathered character. Even small details like these can make a big difference in how immersive the environment feels. Towards the end of the video, after placing a building on an empty plot of land, I focus on the train tracks, making sure they no longer float in midair, but are securely placed on solid ground. This final touch helps bring everything together and adds a more grounded, realistic feel to the whole area, ensuring that the park's infrastructure looks seamless and well thought out.